This June, during the days when Jupiter and Venus align, the largest IPO in human history will be born, with an estimated valuation reaching $1.5 trillion and a targeted fundraising scale of a whopping $50 billion. Its opening appetite aims to swallow the entire cash pool of the U.S. IPO market from last year. Before even ringing the bell, its market cap has already crushed 99.99% of global enterprises. This company, which even looks to the stars for its listing timing, is SpaceX. What is up, everyone? I am Lee, and welcome back to my finance channel. Today we're skipping the nonsense and going straight into a hardcore breakdown. How exactly is Musk's mind-boggling $1.5 trillion fortune calculated? Faced with this astronomical asking price, why is Wall Street's smart money still lining up to give him cash? And most crucially, as the richest man on Earth, why is he suddenly so strapped for cash and in such a rush to go public? If you are interested in the future tech landscape, this video will absolutely subvert your understanding. Remember to drop a like and subscribe first, and let's get into it. To understand this $1.5 trillion, we first need to decipher Musk's business empire. Musk is raising 7 children under his wing, doing everything from bending metal and laying internet cables to developing AI. This IPO is essentially his 2 massive breadwinners, SpaceX and Starlink, dragging his 2 money-burning AI cash incinerators, the X platform and Zappy, onto the public market together. The audacity for these 4 cards combined to demand $1.5 trillion, or even $1.75 trillion, comes from 2 epic valuation shifts. Let's rewind the clock to 2008. It was SpaceX's 6th year. 3 launches had completely failed, and they were just 3 days away from bankruptcy. It wasn't until the 4th ignition of Falcon 1 finally reached orbit that September that NASA threw them a $1.6 billion lifeline order. At that time, SpaceX's valuation was a mere $400 million. Fast forward to 2015, SpaceX secured a $1 billion capital injection from Google and Fidelity, announcing plans to launch thousands of satellites to provide global internet coverage. This is the now famous Starlink. People might take cell service for granted, but in reality, only 10 to 15% of the globe's surface is covered by ground stations. The remaining 90% is a total dead zone. Starlink's business model is simple: spend $599 on a dish, pay $120 a month, and you connect to high-speed internet. For users in remote US areas stuck with expensive and laggy traditional satellite broadband, Starlink's cost-performance ratio is exceptionally high. It took almost 10 years to finally validate this model. In 2024, Starlink's user base skyrocketed from 2.3 million to 4.6 million, generating around $8.2 billion in annual revenue. By February of this year, the user count doubled again, breaking the 10 million mark. When Wall Street looked at this revenue structure, they had a sudden awakening. You are not some struggling aerospace company. You are a high-margin SaaS, software as a service company. Consequently, SpaceX's valuation was directly multiplied by 30, reaching $350 billion.
From $400 million to $350 billion, it took SpaceX 16 years. But just as Wall Street slapped the SaaS label on them, Musk charged back in with the next sexy narrative: humanity's power anxiety. Over the past 2 years, Microsoft restarted a sealed-off nuclear power plant to supply AI, and Amazon is queuing up to buy nuclear energy. Ground infrastructure simply can't keep up with AI's appetite. At this moment, Musk provided an insanely crazy answer: move AI data centers into space. There is no day or night in space. The power density of solar energy is 5 to 10 times that of the ground, and the -270 degrees Celsius cosmic background is a natural liquid cooling system that doesn't waste a single drop of water. It just so happens that the power-hungry, money-burning child in his hands, Xi, desperately needs this exact environment. Thus, in February 2022, SpaceX and Xi officially merged, and the valuation shot straight up to $1.25 trillion, setting a record for the largest M&A deal in history. Factoring in his X platform, which comes with the world's largest corpus of data, plus the ultimate narrative of future Mars colonization, the remaining premium is entirely filled in. You might ask, Wall Street is never short of people who can tell a good story, and with SpaceX currently sitting at a conservatively estimated P/E ratio of 62 times, why are institutions still trimming other positions to free up capital and scrambling to foot the bill? The answer is simple. For the past 2 years, Wall Street has adopted an unwritten commandment. Don't short Elon Musk. Musk is a monster who turns his brags into reality. From the days when he thought buying Russian missiles was too expensive and declared he'd build his own rockets, earning NASA's mockery as a nouveau riche, to proposing reusable first-stage boosters that even his internal engineers didn't believe in. The result? Today, Falcon boosters have been vertically reused over 33 times. Then there is the space-based internet, a concept nobody could make work for over 30 years, which he has now turned into his primary source of profit. The most classic example is when Wall Street collectively shorted Tesla, short-selling gods Jim Chanos and Greenlight Capital's founder David Einhorn wildly badmouthed it on television. And the result? Tesla's stock price skyrocketed, and short sellers suffered a total paper loss of over $64.5 billion from 2010 to 2021. The arrogant Musk even listed limited edition, short shorts embroidered with S3XY on the official website and personally mailed them to the people who mocked him. Everyone learned their lesson. You never know which of his crazy ideas will actually succeed, but once they do, the cost of missing out is a price you simply cannot bear. Given the perfect alignment of timing conditions and people, why did SpaceX rush to swallow up Xi in less than a year and a half and lock in a June IPO bell ringing? Why is this company, which historically never mentioned going public, suddenly in such a hurry? Actually, the market has two very insightful perspectives. First, the richest man is actually quite strapped for cash. Musk has an official paper net worth of $800 billion, but he admits his cash accounts for less than 1,000th of that. He absolutely dares not sell his Tesla stock. Sales have been overtaken by BYD, the European market is sliding, and selling shares just as his nearly $1 trillion mega pay package needs to be fulfilled is a direct slap in the face to his shareholders. Meanwhile, he only holds 42% of SpaceX equity. Selling more would reduce him to a minority shareholder. Yet SpaceX's CFO stated outright in a letter to shareholders that the IPO is for three things: the frenzied launch schedule of Starlink, space-based AI data centers, and a lunar base. Pick any one of those, and it is a trillion-dollar cash-devouring behemoth. He can only rely on an IPO for a continuous blood transfusion. The second perspective is even more interesting. It is to snipe his good buddy, Sam Altman. In 2026, it is not just SpaceX going public. OpenAI is also eyeing an end-of-year IPO with a target valuation of $1 trillion, while Anthropic, valued at $380 billion, is also making a dash for it. These three combined will siphon $3 trillion of liquidity out of the market. Whoever rings the bell earliest grabs the most cold, hard cash. This is a life-or-death race for capital ammunition. Up to this point, we've only been talking about money, but next, I want you to deeply consider a question that will send shivers down your spine. If this IPO succeeds, what we are witnessing is not just a carnival of wealth, but the very first time in human history that a single individual simultaneously controls the critical infrastructure needed to run half the globe, with absolutely no power capable of keeping him in check. In the 17th century, British philosopher Thomas Hobbes wrote in Leviathan, "To escape chaos, humanity willingly hands over power to an immensely powerful sovereign, one strong enough to protect everyone, but also so powerful that no one can constrain it." Historical monopoly giants like Rockefeller and Carnegie controlled at most one industry, and eventually they were broken up by the government. But Musk has a grip on 5 domains simultaneously, forming a terrifying closed loop, Starlink provides the communication pipeline. The X platform controls information and public opinion. Millions of Teslas train data in the physical world. The Grok large model processes that information, and SpaceX provides the ultimate physical transportation. Remember, during the Russia-Ukraine war, Ukraine asked Musk to extend Starlink coverage to the waters off Crimea to guide drone boat attacks. Fearing an escalation into nuclear war, Musk outright refused, causing drone boats loaded with explosives to lose signal and wash ashore. A businessman sitting in his Texas mansion scrolling on his phone, relying solely on his personal judgment, directly altered the course of a localized war. You say we can rely on the government to regulate him. In 2025, SpaceX completed 165 orbital launches, capturing 85% of the U.S. market share. When Trump threatened to cancel government contracts back in the day, Musk clapped back by announcing on X the retirement of the Crew Dragon, the only spacecraft capable of bringing astronauts home. The subtext was, "You dare touch my contracts, and your astronauts will have to go beg Russia and China for a ride back." The U.S. government ultimately assessed the situation and realized their dependence on SpaceX had reached a point where they simply couldn't afford to offend him. Within this massive closed loop, you drive a Tesla during the day, and the cameras help him collect real-world spatial data. At night, you scroll through X, and every single one of your emotional fluctuations feeds his Grok large model. As long as you connect to Starlink, you are living under his rules. You can go dig through Starlink's lengthy user terms of service. Article 9 explicitly states, for services provided on Mars, all parties recognize Mars as a free planet where no Earth-based government has jurisdiction or sovereignty, and disputes will be resolved through self-governing principles. This commercial Leviathan is completing its final evolution. He is no longer just a businessman. He is gathering the spare parts for the next civilization. The Optimus robots, which he paused some vehicle models to mass produce, are the body's eyes computing power, which is about to go into space, is the brain. The X platform is the eyes and mouth. The Neuralink brain-machine interface is the nervous system, and SpaceX's rockets are the legs to take them to Mars. It makes one ponder deeply. Is a company really all this man ultimately wants? Is the birth of silicon-based life coming even faster than we expected? Is this the curtain call for humanity's old civilization, or the coronation of a new civilization's creator? For you in front of the screen, perhaps you already have the answer in your heart. One last quick disclaimer. The above content is for in-depth discussion and information sharing only, and by no means constitutes financial or investment advice. Entering the market carries risks, so please guard your wallets and take responsibility for your own decisions. This is Lee's Finance Channel. If you feel today's video showed you the real logic behind the capital markets, please be sure to drop a like and leave your thoughts in the comments section. We will come back and dig up this thread to verify in a few years. Your subscription is the biggest support you can give me. Until next time, see you then.